what's up? No audio probably for the first 16 and a half minutes of this. It was not intended really to be a public broadcast, although I was doing it live. Um, so the whole process couldn't be, faked, even though there's not really all that much to this. It's pretty basic. Um, and so I could then go back in and uh, do my own edits and stuff like that, and still have the raw footage to indicate that this is in fact what happened. So I would imagine that there was no sound at all for the first 16 and a half minutes. But and now the thing is, I went ahead and put my headset in, and here's the thing, Okay, so a couple things. Here's the choices, right? Mack, Hall, Subs, Breadman. Right now, issue is the whole this is ending. That's part of the point of this. There's 7 hours left of this, and I want to sleep, so I don't expect to do this again. Because I don't think there's going to be a quick flip opportunity to do it again. And I think the quick flip that I just did, I think I ended up losing. Just when you factor in the the auction tax, because that's how tired I am. I don't think I properly calculated that part of it. So this was strictly going to be a sort of financial decision. I was pretty stoked to get as many coins into my account as I did. If you watch the beginning of this video, you see I have nothing. I have no cards. I have no coins. I have nothing. It's just an empty account. I'm really just testing markets more than anything else. So I was pretty stoked to have well over 300K, way far and above what I've ever had before. Because when I do occasionally get a solid card to sell, I typically don't get a chance to. They're untradeable, or like in the case of Crosby, I got super excited. If you go back and watch previous live broadcasts, assuming they're still available on this channel, I honestly haven't looked. I was kind of feigning excitement over picking up the base Sidney Crosby in one of the Evo packs, but I was actually pretty excited, and I joked about how it was. I don't know what I said it was. Like I said, it was at least 300K, if not 500, and it wasn't even at that time, and now it's gone down. And I sold it today, and then did other stuff with those funds for various reasons that I don't necessarily feel they need to get into right now. So here's the thing. So again, Mack, Hall, Subs, Panarin, pretty easy choice. All this leaves out is Kuzzy and Pastrnak, and there was part of me that was thinking maybe Pastrnak was the way to go, even though I do have an untradeable base Pastrnak that tends to make it onto my team often enough. So I guess I could just kind of make that substitution and just wait for another upgrade since he's already gotten one. So now, if I have this correct, Taylor Hall and out of these four, Taylor Hall and Subban have not gotten any upgrades. Panarin has. He's gotten Team of the Week. And for some reason, I feel like McKinnon got one too, which would have made him Team of the Week, which kind of makes sense. Off to a good start this season. Eight goals in 8 games, 6 assists, 14 points. Those four things have never been at that level in the first, I guess, previous 5 seasons of his career. Some, not as many games played. Not 80 plus, and yet still, as far as production during those times, if you want to just base it off of, how many goals, how many assists, how many points in the amount of games that he's played, for anybody, I think it can probably be a pretty tough task to even do one for one on any of those three stats, to have just as many goals, just as many assists, just as many points as you have games played. Um, Obviously, of those three, I would seem that points would be the easier one to get if you're capable of putting up goals and assists, because those two combine 4 points. Um, but I don't know. So team of the week would make sense, but then what? So what was he before? Like an 80? What's it? What is his base card? An 83 and 84? Do you only get +1 on team of the week? These are things I should have checked beforehand. But again, I was just going to do this as a financial thing in terms of what was selling on the market, and then the first probably 12 minutes of this that I think I went through relatively quickly was just looking at current prices still being sold for these cards, and there's there's a there's a fair amount of range in terms of on offer. That very few um, actual latest bids out there for any of the 6 cards, which tends to happen just in the sense that big cards in general, cards like these, are going to be sold with a very narrow range uh, with the bid and the ask. In some cases, there is no range. It's the minimum that the game allows, which is one price, and then the buy now is 50 coins more. And when you're talking about, um, say, on average, a 250 to 285,000 coin purchase, what's 50 coins, you know? So anyway, long story short, I had Hall, and that's what I just sold. So that's the bulk of where those coins came from, as well as another one that got sold that I was really enjoying having on my team, and gonna have to try to find a way to work that out again because I'm gonna want the other guy back. And I loved having Hall on the team too. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So Hall was sold. Subs is up for offer right now. Also, currently, much like I did with Hall, currently lowest offer out there on the marketplace. Even though I'd say probably I'm talking way too long at this point, but of the 6, and certainly of these 4, I think as much as people want to talk crap about PK, um, which I don't know, there could be a variety of reasons for that, but it has to be the, the, the most of a lock of the 6, and even of these 4, um, to get team of the year. So this is going to be a 99 overall card done. And I'm new, so I don't, and I said this in previous ones, and I just keep forgetting to look it up, or I look it up and I don't get a quick answer as quickly as I'd like. So I don't know when team of the year happens. I don't know if it's at the end of the NHL season, which is a long way out, being the first 10 games into the season already. But at the same time, a 29-year-old prolific defenseman, sure, might not, although as a shooter and with call the shot synergy, um, isn't maybe going to have the same opportunities for, again, goals, assists, points to get put up as some of the other players, and maybe that's part of the reason why people are shying away. Um, and then the other thing is too, at least for me, so you look 29, 26, 23, 26. Now, difference being Panarin at 26 has 2 less years in the league than Mack does. So, Mack's per season stats are not are seemingly misleading compared to Panarin, and I don't. Maybe it's just me, but 23 and 2 26-year-olds, one of which has only played in basically a few seasons, say 4 here with Breadman. Um, the point being, compared to 29, um, Sub's got a better chance at um, like a like a flashback, and that might not be that big of a deal, but and I don't know if that's only going to be a +1 like some of these other stupid um, quote unquote upgrades were with the I think it was what was it the Halloween collectible or the Halloween cards or whatever. Um, I, Even though there's only 14 more points to add to this, I'd kind of like to see it go 2 at a time. Just makes things easier to factor in my opinion. But if there are things like that, like flashback or whatever, a guy that's going to be 30 soon is probably going to have a greater likelihood of being able to do that um, than basically any of the rest of those players. Number one, number two, um, Subs is the Hut cover athlete. Now it's a weird year because of Legends, so I didn't like a lot of people. This is the digital version for me, so I don't even have um, a disc with a cover. Um, so for me at least, the cover athlete for this year is kind of more Gretzky than Subs, but still, um, the last whatever it's been 3-4 years. Uh, so McDavid, Taves, last three at least. McDavid, Taves, and um, McDavid, Taves, and Tarasenko. They all got team of the year. So again, maybe not necessarily a lock for simply that, but at the same time, dude's a beast. Um, and his current Halloween overall 90, where you get to see the speed added in, where here this card is basically just the base because there is no true upgrade yet. I'm talking way too long, but um, you know, skate of 88, speed is not there compared to the real premium cards. Acceleration 88, speed 88. Balance is important at 89. Agility is not bad to have at 87. The the Halloween 90. Jesus Christ! All right, so wish this wasn't live. Go back. Sorry, edit. Basically, everything I just said about the Halloween thing is totally true, except that I was talking about Bufflin, who does happen to be a defenseman, um, and whose base card is probably considerably slower than this. As I said, super late, so I don't know why I went off on that tangent and aside, other than the fact that I guess the special edition cards like that, like the Halloweens, and probably like the Hut Champion cards, as well as maybe like some Draft Champion cards and stuff like that. It seems as though those are not going to count. The things that are going to count on this are going to be Team of the Week, Milestone, and I mean those are the main two, and then Primetime, which is how a couple of players have gotten their upgrades already. The Primetime. So anyway, long story short, I don't even know. I would have liked to have thought that it would show up on the screen here, but I guess maybe not. That whether or not Subban has already been sold, and if I would need to pick him up again if I want the guarantee 99 and enjoy the upgrades throughout the year as he gets up there. But so here's the thing: having just sold Hall and really enjoyed him on the team, even though these stats, what you see here, I can get right now from the base card for considerably less funds, and it's a huge difference. It's you're stuck with that. It's the base card is never going to improve any statistic by even 0.1, whereas all of these stats can be 99 by the end of the year. Taylor Hall's a good enough player that can happen. I actually think that his card is undervalued currently, which is a strange thing for me to say, having literally just sold it. So for me, because of that, because I currently technically own this, but it's out for offer, um, and because I just sold this, and so based on current prices in the market, from a finance perspective, it doesn't make a ton of sense based off of um, taking the proceeds of that and buying the collectibles to be able to come back in here and do this. It doesn't seem like the smart choice is to go back in and get Hall, even though that was part of my thinking when I started this whole process, not 32 minutes ago, but more like 90 minutes ago. So it comes down to Mack and Panarin, and I thought it was going to take like 2 seconds to explain my rationale here. So you've got a centerman, playmaker with the beauty synergy, if you care about synergies, um, quick, 93, 93, 91 skates, um, okay shot, kind of middle of the road shot, 82 to 84. Okay handles. They're giving they're giving the shot an 83 overall, and they're giving the handles an 85 overall, and it's an 84 and 385s as far as the handle statistics. Um, he is a center, and his faceoffs are shit. There's 69. So, and his synergy is not adding anything to that. If you got for the boys active and you've got him lining up, then okay, he's now 72, still shit in my opinion. I wouldn't really even want him on the fourth line, taking faceoffs as is currently. So you're not playing him at center, but that's just how the game works. I mean, the Crosby that I had that I sold, I rarely ever played him at center, for that exact reason. And there's plenty of other centers that are essentially the exact same thing, whether they've got decent synergies to work with or not. If you care about synergies, his check overall is 79, and it's shot block 72, stick check 82, aggression 72, body check 75. Not much of a fighter. Durability is okay at 77, even though he hasn't always had complete seasons. Fighting skills 62 and strength is 78. So for a 6'0", 205 as opposed to a 5'11", 168, I don't know, you'd think that maybe there'd be a bit more beef to that, right? Anyway, long story short, I really feel like these cards are as is with the Panarin one-time upgrade already included in this. I think that they're about even right now, and so it really comes down to two questions. If you want to play endgame, who's got a better chance at Team of the Year? Based on current performance in the first less than 10 games, McKinnon, without a second thought. Yeah, even though I would guess that he'd have to be able to earn that spot against other people playing center, and maybe that would be tougher than against other left wingers. I don't know. Maybe not. The thing is, for me, I'm not going to go through the specific details as to what it is that I'm looking at here for stats. But the thing is, in terms of milestones, and I'm not sure if like every 50 that they're going to count that as a milestone, or if you need to be 300 before it's a reasonable number. But just even for kind of the main numbers that you're looking at in terms of games played, goals scored, assists, points, and No, I actually am gonna look. Um, those are the main ones. Um, the main four, I guess you'd say, that are at least showing up in sort of career stats. So okay, what fuck it. I guess I will say. So even after the eight, including Nate's first. So let's go to Nate while we're talking about him. Uh, through the first 8 games of this season, again on a tear for sure. Um, you you know you don't really get a milestone for plus minus, even though 7 is better than 3 of the previous 5 seasons for him. That were all those 3 were negative. The 2 that were positive were better than 7. Um, and shots is a crazy high number of shots, with a career of less than 10% shot percentage. Um, so he is going to take a lot of chances to get those shots. But the thing is, um, last year was his highest year in terms of uh, all of those 3 main stats of goals, assists, points: 39, 58, and 97. Um, and still only had the 74 games played. He's played 82 the year before that, and the first year in the season. First year in the league. And I actually was reading this kind of backwards when I was originally doing this. But point is, career stats are 382 games, 122 goals, 195 assists, 317 um, points. And again, it's 8, 8, 6, and 14. So you take 14 out of 317 means that he was already at 300 points for the season. So are they going to give him a milestone at 350? So then you got to wait an additional 33 more points, which based off of the 97 last year wouldn't take that long, I guess. 195 assists, he will get 200 within the next 10 games or less. So that could be a potential one. In terms of games played, if they'll give him one at 400, then sure. Got to wait 18 more games for that. So that's good. And then I guess if they're going to give him one for goals, he could get one at 150 as well. But that would require an additional 28 more goals on top of the 8 that he's already got. That'd be 36. So yeah, that would be slightly less than last year, but only by 3. And that was with 74 games played. So that's for him. That was the third out of fifth best number of games played. I mean, he also had 72 once, but he only had 21 goals, 52 points that year in his third year in the season, or third year in the league. So again, I'm not sure if 39, 40 goals is really a lock. And again, gonna need 28 more based off of what I'm looking at here. I don't know if there was anything maybe today or whatever that's not included in this, but when I usually look at this, it's up to date. So that could be a while to wait. That could be basically this season to wait to get to 150. Whereas, I mean, yeah, the other ones are going to be a little bit quicker. Another 18 games, and that's a milestone. 5 assists is going to happen right away. I mean, I said 10 games or less, which is only about half of what I just said in terms of games played. So within the next 18 games played, you'd probably pick up two potential milestones. But not for points though. That's gonna be a little bit longer, assuming that they'll even give him one for any of these. Getting it at 350 again. That's 33 more that are going to be needed, with 14 already in the bag. That would be 47, which feels like a lock. happened every year, but second year, shortest year, 64 games played. Um, but not by a ton if if you exclude last year, which is tough to do to take out the last year, which was so good. Um, but 53 and 52 isn't that much higher than 47. I think was the number. I'm losing track. I'm not writing these down or whatever, and I'm ad libbing this. So I guess my point is I don't think the points milestone is totally a lock. Has to stay healthy, has to play a full year, and then probably gets there, I don't know, sometime between halfway and three quarters of the way through, even if he doesn't continue on his current breakneck speed. Whereas the games played and the assists, those will happen much quicker. And then goals, as we said, is tough. And, you know, another another 18. Um, another 28, right? Jesus, now I'm messing this up. Yeah, another 28. Again, on top of the 8 from before, again, 36. So I don't feel like that's a lock. And those are the main four that are getting milestones currently. So that's my logic. Might seem like messed up logic. Now, we compare that to Breadman. 43 and a half minutes in, I'm basically going with Breadman, who's already got an upgrade. Is already 86. It's already the highest overall of these four, and is either I think is tied with the other two that aren't in here as far as overall with Pasternak and Kuznetsov, who also have both received upgrades. Artemi's career numbers are 250 games played, 91 goals, 151 assists, 242 points. Now, the games played obviously happened during the last game. It's showing 7 right now. So again, I don't know if there was an 8th played that's not in here. So that's basically a milestone that could be happening like right now, like whenever they do the next milestones, that could be a milestone. But then an issue is had 6 assists so far, and so that 150th assist did not come in. Okay, so this is updated because or not, maybe not. I don't know if there was a game. I'm doing this in the morning of the 22nd. So if they played yesterday, the 21st, then that was not included. But I don't think so, based off of the news that flashed up on this before. So I think the October 20th game against the Hawks, kind of homecoming game there, had nothing, no goals, no assists, no points. So the assists number of 151 that occurred on the 18th in the Philly game, had 2 assists for the 2 points, and so that took him from 149 to 151. So this is an if they're willing to give a milestone for 150 assists, which I don't know, that could definitely be considered kind of like an early career milestone, and therefore maybe not the same kind of thing as the kind of guys who are putting up milestones right now that like only 5 or less people have ever done in the history of the league. Then this suddenly becomes a poor choice. And especially if they're not going to do it for 150 assists and they're not going to do it for 250 games, then I'm kind of fucked. I mean, if he plays a full season, he'll get 300 games played, and I think they've already done 300 games played for other people. I don't know. I know 500 certainly has been done, which is a bigger number. It's a better milestone. So I don't know. So I don't know if 250 is going to count, and I don't even know if 300 would count. But he's already got 250 as of last game, and he'll get 300 during the season as well. And if they're going to give him both of those, that's two milestones right there that you're going to get. 91 goals with three already in the season means he needs nine more. Um, Again, simple math, 9 plus 3, 12. Easily done in a full season compared to the first three seasons. Two with Chicago and one with the Jackets. Um, so that'll happen. He'll have 100 goals. It seems like another potential milestone. It's not Ovi. Ovi's a little older, played a little longer, but also um, scores 10 goals a game, so it's a little different. Um, and then points. I think I listed all four of these numbers overall already, but 242 with nine in the season. So he needs eight. He just needs to double his production from the first seven games. Um, Actually, technically a little bit less than doubling his production on the first seven games, and he'll reach that as well. Um, and so that's where my head's at. Is if 250 and 150 250 games played and 150 assists are both considered milestones, and I don't think you can give like a double milestone or two milestones in the same week. And then how the hell do you work that? Do you give him one like right now, like today, tomorrow, and then give him another one in like 2-3 days for the other milestone? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. And that's again assuming that they even give milestones for these things, because I assumed that, which is why I picked up the microphone almost a half an hour ago to talk about this as to why I was making this decision. Um, but if that happens, those have already happened, and then again, is he going to get another 49 assists to get to 200? Well, that that would be 55 on the year, which would match last year, which was career high, by 8 over the rookie, in my opinion, tremendous rookie season. Um, so not exactly a lock. But maybe it's just me. I feel like if you're not going to give something for 150 assists, why are you doing it for 200? It doesn't seem to be. I understand it's a 33% increase, but it just doesn't seem to be that much bigger of a deal for some reason to me. So I wouldn't be doing it for that part. And then again, the points, 250 is going to happen, and you can add another 50 uh, based off of full seasons compared to the first three seasons that he's played. Um, but again, is 250 points a milestone? Is 300 a milestone? Those are all questions. However, the thing is, if those are the four main categories that they're giving milestones for, he got one last game, and he got another one 2 games ago. And the upgrade that he's got here was from Team of the Week. So with, and 7 games played, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points, and a -2. Just 2 game-winning goals though. So maybe that was part of. Uh, it's got a better shot percentage. Technically a 50% incremental better from 10, not exactly 50, from about 10 to 14 compared to Mack here. But again, those are the types of things that they would consider in terms of first team of the week, potentially prime time, and then eventually team of the year. Whereas the milestones are pretty clear. I mean, they're set numbers, they're round numbers. I haven't really looked at the list in terms of which ones they do and don't give, and so again, would seem strange to go with Hall because just sold this. This might have already been sold, although I do think it's probably the best, or kind of the most of a lock of the 7, and certainly of these 4. at least in terms of the end game. It's going to be a 99. Um, but could already be sold. And if sold, do I want it again? And then what am I going to do? Wait until it's got more value than what I just sold it for now, and maybe sell it again? I don't know. So it seems like I'm going to go with Panarin here. Um, but I just like everyone loves McKinnon. Um, but as you saw, if you watched the first 15 minutes of this, current current prices, and I get it. It's early Monday morning, which is not exactly the very best in terms of assessing the market in general, market values. McKinnon's Evo is not really going for that much more than any of the rest of these, including Panarin's. Um, there are less of the high-end outliers for Panarin right now than there are for McKinnon. There's more people, I guess, trying to get lucky with really high asks on what they're looking to get out of this McKinnon card. And if more of those were to actually come to fruition and get paid off, and therefore have an influencing factor into future prices, then sure, this card would just from a finance perspective would be a much better investment than probably any of them, honestly. And absolutely more than Panarin. Panarin doesn't have as much of a spread between kind of the low end asks and the high end asks currently, which could change. I mean, give him a milestone this week, and assuming that gives you another 2, and this is suddenly an 88 card, and then what? Did the rest of the stats go up by 2 as well? As you suddenly, 96 for acceleration and speed, increasing in shots, so that it's basically 88 max on the wrist shot accuracy and 85 on the low end for slap shot power. And again, just crazy handles, 90 and 91. And technically capable of playing defense if you don't have room for him on the front 12 somewhere. But I don't know. I just think I gotta go with Panarin. I don't know why I took an hour. I really don't. I guess it's just I overthink things way too much. People seem to be in the online seasons, competitive seasons, in the PvP, tending to be going with speed over size. So that seems pretty clear between these two distinctions, even though it's not like Nate is slow on these current stats. And obviously Burner, if activated, can give you an extra 2, so that right there, without even an additional upgrade, takes those up to 96, as opposed to these two being stuck at 93. And that can make a big difference if you're just solely comparing those two in terms of gameplay, in spots where you're just purely looking for speed. But 60205 and plays like it versus 511 and the 168 being slight and playing like it would kind of normally be a thing that you look against. However, it seems like people are looking to stack their teams with quick guys getting to the puck, and then being able to control, being able to make the correct passes to avoid those turnovers. And in that sense alone, even if these cards were just what they are right now, it's another reason why I kind of feel like Panarin is better right now, based on the difference between these two and gameplay where you need that, especially because they're going to be basically playing the same position. I mean, again, Mack could technically play defense as well, Um, but I think in either case, these are basically two guys that are gonna probably end up somewhere on left wing, depending on if your team is good. They can end up towards the first couple lines, and if I'm sorry, if your team's not as good, they can end up on the first couple lines. If it is good, maybe they're more in the back. This is a Both of these cards are very expensive cards for you to be picking up a fourth line left winger. And now because Mack is a center, and sure shoots right-handed as Panarin does, and so therefore some people prefer that if they are going to be shooting on the right side as opposed to left. So that might let some people feel like it gives you a little bit more choice, being able to put Mack on either of the wings, whereas like Panarin's used to the left and then would have to switch to the right. But I don't I just, as much as the AI is beyond OP, beyond insane, more so I think this year than any other year, even though I haven't really played before. Um, I don't think it really. I haven't seen it really kind of do that thing where it's like, oh well, this is you're playing a left winger on the right side, and so he's not exactly set up properly unless it's a handed thing. Um, might not be able to whatever, might not be able to get on the one timers as well, if they're kind of taking them from the opposite part of their body than you like them to be doing or whatever. That'd be about it. It's I really, to me so far, playing any of the versions of HUT that you can play, I haven't really felt like, oh, okay, that was even just a couple instances of like, oh, that was weird that happened. Oh, okay, that happened because that was a left winger that was playing on the right side, or vice versa. That was a right winger that was playing on the left side, or even a right defenseman that I was playing on the left side, and or vice versa, or a left winger that I was playing on right defense. It doesn't seem to do a ton of that in my opinion, but I could be way off base. And anyway, we're gonna wrap this up before the end of the hour. Nobody joined us. We'll see if we keep this out. I'm gonna go with Panarin. I think we're getting a milestone update. Mack already got team of the week. Is he gonna get another one this week? I mean, those 8 games are just a complete tear. Let's just take one last quick look on. Where's the? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. So last game, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. So did he get team of? Yeah, he got team of the week in the first week from the 11th to the 16th. 202, 101, 101. And then the game of the 18th obviously wasn't bad either, man. It's how you put up all those points in 8 games. 0-3 and 3. 3 points and 3 assists. So I don't know. Is that another team of the week, or does he need another game? Probably starting tonight, on the 22nd, I would assume. Seems to be playing every couple of days. I'm sorry, I don't follow the Avalanche. I just don't. So sorry, I don't know when their next game is. I can look it up. I'm on a thing right here that probably says it, honestly. But yeah, it just kind of doesn't. I mean, it does somewhere if I click through, but I'm not going to do that. I don't know. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go with Panarin. I said I was gonna do this in less than an hour, and I didn't. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, all right. So let's select Panarin. man, so other guys have so much more value. Um, Got to do it. Making the right choice based on how this thing works. Kind of surprised I did this. I was initially thinking of doing that. Oh, something sold. Yep. Yeah, Subs. I think there's a couple others that could have, which makes this somewhat more interesting. Because now the only top tier Evo that I'm running with is right here. Demi Panarin. I guess I just became more of a homer than I was before, but in a weird way. I'm okay with it. I am honestly going to go right to the market though and just make sure that I don't need to try to see if I have a chance to immediately turn this right back around and do the exact same thing again. But I don't think that's going to happen. So you should not see another one of these videos of the Evo choice packs, especially because it had like 6 hours left to go, and I just took an hour. So there's probably like 5 hours left, and I got stuff to do. I got to get going. So let's go ahead and send to the collection. Quick sell all would really suck, right? Wrong button. Sorry. Super tired here. All right, so let's let's go ahead and cut this off. If I do leave this out for the generally about 5, 6, maybe 7 views that these tend to get, feel free to leave your comments. Tell me how completely stupid I was having only one last choice of, a non of an identical choice between McKinnon and Panarin, and I chose Panarin, or even not gone back to Hall or Subban, who I had just sold, and who I think are both absolutely, unquestionably going to go up in intrinsic value, and then it just comes down to whether or not the actual market itself, which is a slightly different thing based on the many different facets and characteristics of this game, means that they'll go up, but they'll have to. How the hell is Subban going to be in 99 and not sell for like $1 million? I don't know. So let's end this now. I will stop the torture. Peace out. Leave comments. You can do the whole like, subscribe, share thing, but this isn't a real channel yet. So, and names are probably going to change and stuff like that. So do whatever you want. I don't care, honestly. But if you do have an actual opinion and you would like to share it, go ahead and put it up on a comment or send me a message or whatever. I think this thing showed me who I am in the game. So I believe you can connect with me there as well. That's it, guys. Now almost an hour and a half of nothing, really, of going into a thing that gives you 4 sort of randomized choices out of potential 6, of which you choose 1. And only a person that overthinks as much as I do would be capable of turning that into 90 minutes. So peace out. Hope you enjoyed.